Here's my picks for 5 most mind-bending expressions that you need to know, and you can grab all the expressions from the link in the description. Let's get into it. All right, so first up we have how to loop paths. So if you do a lot of path animations, you might know that you cannot loop a path animation using a regular loop out expression. So if we type out loop out here, we get a little error that it is not a function, whatever, that does not work. But with this fancy expression here, we can actually loop our path animation like this, and by default this will loop it in like a cycle, so it'll just kind of restart the loop. But you can see this little note in here, right here, if you change this ping pong equals to true right here, then we will get a true, then we will get a ping pong, which means that it goes back and forth. So I'll just go ahead and copy this expression here and then paste it on all of my keyframes, all of these, and now we will get a back and forth looping motion on our path. Looping path expressions, great. All right, so the next expression we're taking a look at is these random change to specific colors expression. Fantastic expression, I use it all the time. So basically how this works is we just type in the RGB value of these colors on the top line. In this case, I have 4. You can do more, you can do less, and then it's gonna randomly cycle between them. So to get the RGB values, you're just gonna type in the 3 digits of them and then comma 255 divided by 255. When you look at the RGB codes, you can get them here on your color, and then you just type in at the end, comma 255 divided by 255. 255 is like the top of RGB, you know, they go from 0 to 255. I don't really know what that means. It's not really important, but that's just for reference what that means here. But I don't even recommend, honestly, typing in the values here. I think that's a little bit too much work. So what I actually do is I will put color controls either on your layer here or on a slider with color controls. And so what that looks like, let me go ahead and delete this and start over. You can see it's resetting everything because my expressions are broken. So what I'll do is, depending on how many colors I want to have, I'll make color controls. So add a color control. Let me duplicate this 4 times, and I will grab these colors here and then go ahead and pick whip this to color 1 like this, and we can go ahead and change this color to whatever we want. Pick whip this one to color 2, and then you could change this to whatever you want. Pick whip this to color 3, and so on. You just want to be very particular, very specific with what you are actually pick whipping in this case. And there we go. And I get a little error here because it's expecting a closing bracket. Just read what it's saying here. And now we are good. And then you can change the ease time, where the amount of time it takes to ease between the cycles, and the duration that it hangs on each color. Okay, great. And then it'll look something like this. Very nice. So you might have seen number counters before, but this is the ultimate number counter, okay? So we're gonna paste this expression onto our source text here, and right off the bat we're gonna get an error because we need a slider control on this layer or on another layer to reference it. We'll just put it on this layer. So I'll add on a slider control here, and boom. So now we can just go ahead and put in whatever number we want. And the cool thing about this number control, why it's the ultimate one, is we have all these things we can do here. We can put in the number of decimals, so we could have 3 decimal points. For some reason, we could put in commas if we want, so we can say true, and now we have commas here. Once we get over 1,000, we could put in a $sign, which we have. We could put in a % sign too. Boom, like this. And we could also go in and we could change what this thinks a dollar sign or percent sign is. So instead of a dollar sign here, we could make that be like a asterisk or something, and we could change the percent sign to be a, like, I don't know, like an equal sign, something like this. And now we're changing what these actual digits mean, something like this. And if you want to go over 1,000,000, then I recommend using an angle control instead. So we just add on an angle control, and then you can just go ahead and pick whip this to your angle control instead here, and then you can spin this around much easier to go over 1,000,000. Ultimate number control. Sometimes you just gotta really quickly mock stuff up in After Effects and you don't feel like putting down a bunch of keyframes, okay? So we're gonna alt click on the opacity, boom, paste it in, and what this will do is it fades in and out this layer based on the in and out points, like this, okay? So if we copy this expression and we paste it on all of these layers, that will fade them all in and out. And then if we do something like sequence these layers and give them, 10 seconds of overlap or something, 10 frames of overlap, now we have this nice kind of fading sequence, like a nice slideshow that we just made very easily, and it's really flexible. We can move stuff around. And I forgot to paste this expression on everything, but you get the idea, come on. All right, nice slideshow of events. Very, very handy. So an expression I've been using a lot lately is a checkbox control. And basically how it works is when we have this checkbox control checked, then my layer is at 100% opacity, and if it's unchecked, then the layer is at 0% opacity. And it seems pretty simple, but it can be very handy, especially when you start stacking a bunch of other layers that are linked to this checkbox control. So let's see how this could work in action. All right, so we got a null object with a hand and a cursor attached to it, and they kind of just float in and hover over this checkbox. So let's add some expressions on here. So if I alt click onto the hand and I paste my expression on here, and right off the bat, we're gonna get a error because we need to link this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to highlight this part here, and I'm gonna link it to my null object. Let me pin this up here. So what we'll do is we will go ahead and grab this part and we'll pick whip this to our checkbox control onto here, and just make sure that this is in parentheses like this. Cool, and now you can see if we flip this on and off, our hand will turn on and off. Now I'm gonna copy this and paste it onto my cursor, but what I wanna do is I wanna reverse these for either the hand or the cursor. Doesn't really matter, I guess either way. It could matter if you're really particular about it, but now we can turn this on and off and our things flip back and forth. And we could add this also back on to our check mark opacity here like this, so that it looks something like this. So when this kind of comes in and animates, we could keyframe this right here to have the checkbox turn on. So now we have an animation that looks like that. Pretty great, all right? You can see how this could kind of come in handy in a lot of ways with some simple rigging like that. All right, so these have been my picks for 5 most mind-bending expressions in After Effects. Don't forget you can visit the link in the description to copy the expressions, grab them, read a little more documentation about them. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Do these expressions melt your mind? Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.